Hey folks, this is the recap for the legislative week. We're going to start with a couple bills that we passed. So let's just maybe start this way. Everything is happening in the backdrop of trying to get the budget prepared, figure out how we're going to preserve the tax cuts and make sure that the government is the right size, that we're not spending money on things that we can't afford and don't have to spend on. Of course, those are always tough discussions. And so that's an ongoing discussion all day long from morning until late at night here in DC. And so that's happening too. But while that's happening, we passed a couple bills. I voted yes on the, the fentanyl bill called?
The Halt All Lethal Trafficking of Fentanyl.
The HALT Act, which schedules fentanyl and its cursors, the things they make it out of, permanently on the illegal drug schedule, so that our law enforcement folks can do their job, and that the fentanyl producers can't just change the formula a little bit and then say, well, this is legal now, which is what they do. So this makes sure it's on the schedule. Law enforcement knows they can do what they need to do to try and end this crisis that's happening around our country and keep our streets safe. So I voted yes on that. And then we had another one that precludes the federal government from banning hydraulic fracturing. If you want to do that in your state or your district or what have you, that's your business. But the federal government shouldn't be in the business of just taking that ability off the table completely. Of course, from Pennsylvania, it's been a huge boon for our economy and for the United States in general. We want to be able to do that safely, and so I voted in favor of that. What else do we have? Oh, so you're noticing, I'm sure, what's happening with the United States Agency on International Development, otherwise known as USAID. And look, I will tell you, I think it's great that this is being brought into the sunlight so everybody can see this massive abuse and waste of your money. We deal with this on the Foreign Affairs Committee, and time after time we've tried to ring the alarm bell and sound the alarm that this is just wasted money on all kinds of terrible things that are not good for America. We just found out that, of course, your tax dollars, remember, the Agency for International Development, to find out your tax dollars are paying for propaganda and news outlets right here in Washington, D.C. Like, that's not what that money's for. And but that's happening. Congress is kind of sitting beside it, watching it. We're not sending members over. We're not part of the DOJ team, but that's what's happening. But we did sound the alarm multiple times, and I'm happy that that stuff is coming out into the light. So we got that. What else is on? Oh, we had a hearing in Transportation and Infrastructure about, in the Subcommittee on Aviation, about unmanned aerial systems. Oftentimes people call them drones, and how we keep our airspace safe, but also how we counter and compete with the Chinese, who produce most of them. We don't have a traffic management plan for them to go beyond what we call the visual line of sight. So they're not really being used to deliver packages and so on and so forth, because we haven't worked that out. But we had a hearing on that, and we also had a closed-door hearing on the accident out on the Potomac between the UH-60 Black Hawk and the Canadian Regional Jet. It's preliminary meeting with the NTSB, the National Traffic Safety Board, about their initial assessment of that, and kind of got to ask questions about what happened when and so on and so forth. I don't want to speak out of turn here, but got some interesting information on that. Of course, it's a horrific incident where those folks lost their lives, and while we're trying to get the answers, of course, our thoughts and our prayers go out with the grieving families that this is affected. This is a big tragedy. It just goes to underscore how critical and delicate these systems that we have are, and when something goes wrong, it's really devastating. So that was a hearing we had as well. What else you got on there, David?
The two bills we introduced.
Oh, we introduced two bills this week. So go through I can't remember.
Yeah, no. So the first one is a resolution that allows for...
Oh, so because of of my position on transportation and infrastructure, we deal with federal buildings and the National Peace Officers Memorial. They have to request the use of the Capitol grounds to do that. So that comes through the committee that I preside over as the chairman. So we introduced that bill today because we want to be able to use the Capitol grounds as for the memorial ceremony for peace officers. And then the other one is the
No kill switches in cars act.
So I don't know whether you know this, but in 2026, it's now mandatory for car manufacturers to put a kill switch in your car. And what that effectively does is lets the government shut your car down when they want to. Look, if you want to put that in your car and pay for it, that's your business. I just don't think it should be a federal government mandate. So we introduced a bill to get rid of the mandate. It's not saying you can't order a kill switch, but maybe your car's, it's affordable until you add that, and that puts it out of your range. I just don't believe, and I don't think you believe, that should be the federal government's business to say that you must buy a car with a kill switch in it. So we offered that as legislation as well. So that's kind of the recap for the week. We'll still be working on the budget throughout the weekend. We're hoping to see something introduced beginning of next week so that we can get on to dealing with the fiscal situation in our country, and we'll continue to work on that. So anyway, hope you're safe and you're well. Hope springtime's coming regardless of what Phil said. And we're also praying for and hoping for a great Eagles victory this weekend at the Super Bowl. So with that, have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week. God bless you.